Hey everybody, it's Rox. We are here to talk about some home repair, home maintenance style stuff for this session. So a few things I wanted to go over with you. A lot of you either are going to be renting a home or apartment, or maybe some of you already are. I just wanted to go over a few things that I think are very important. Number one priority for you as a tenant is you have certain rights as a tenant that you need to be aware of. And the most basic ones would be you have the right to live in a safe home, a safe apartment, free of any hazards, have working smoke detectors, working carbon monoxide detectors, and also have good exits and make sure your exits are clear for fire safety. Now check the link that Scooter put on the information that he sent to you. There's a link on there that has a whole bunch of rights to you guys. Another big one is when you get that lease agreement from your landlord or your property manager, read through it completely and know everything that you're signing. Know what your rent is going to be, if you have any deposits, what kind of fees that you would get charged for once you move out, things of that nature. Just read through it, and knowing what you're signing will protect you in the long run. So a few things that are important for you to know if something were to happen in your apartment or your home. You need to know where your power shutoff is to either the house or the apartment. Sometimes if you're in an apartment, you will actually have a sub panel inside your apartment unit itself, and then the main power will be outside if there's a big group of either for that apartment building or complex, whatever it might be. So I'm going to show you at our house. We actually have a sub panel inside of our house separate from the main breaker. So this is our main panel where the power comes into the house. This is going to be the same style or something similar to what you are going to see. So if I can lift this up, this right here, this big breaker, that is how I would disconnect. If I shut that off, then I will completely shut power off to my house. So if you ever have some form of electrical hazard inside your apartment or your home, knowing where you can shut this off will eliminate the hazard. Or if it's some kind of electrical issue, you can shut it off and it'll disconnect power going inside your house. So this one too, just something else to point out, we have solar. This is where the disconnect for the solar that comes from the roof down into the panel, so I can actually shut my solar off right here as well. Now if you have a sub panel, which most of you will have a sub panel if you're in an apartment, that all those breakers in there are what control your lights, your stove, your TV, whatever it might be. It runs all the different groups of outlets and power within your apartment unit. So you can go through and isolate if you need to. One thing that people always make a mistake on when it comes to the breakers, if they're continually popping, meaning that they're meant to, if they have a surge in power or if there's some kind of issue in that system, they'll pop and shut off power. You'll hear them referred to as all the pop the breaker. If you're popping your breakers all the time, don't just continue to go back and reset them and reset them and reset them. Either there's an issue with that breaker itself, or whatever that breaker is controlling, if there's a number of outlets that it's controlling, there could be something wrong within that system which is causing that breaker. So if you're having that issue, call your landlord, call your property manager, have them get an electrician to come out and identify what the problem is so they can fix it properly, so you don't cause a fire or a bigger hazard. Water. So water causes issues and damage all the times in homes and apartments. If it's common that you'll see something like a leak with your maybe the water line that goes to your toilet, or maybe it's a leak underneath the sink or a faucet, something like that. You should have a shut-off valve below your sink, behind your toilet, that if you have a leak, you can shut the water off right there. If not, it's important that you know where the main water shutoff that comes into your apartment or into your house, where that is. So if you can't isolate the leak, either underneath the sink or behind the toilet or behind the refrigerator, wherever it might be, that you can actually go outside and shut the water off until you can have a repair person come out and fix it properly. So water can damage pretty much everything, and it can be very costly. So if you can isolate the water and shut it off and prevent any further damage, your landlord and tenant will or the landlord and the owner will appreciate that. But it'll also save you a lot of headache as well. So we actually live on a well. We're out in the country, so we have our own water source, our own well. But we'll go over there and I'll show you how I would shut the water off to our house, and it would be very similar for you. Okay, so here we are. This is our well, which provides water to our house. We have power that runs to the well, so if something is happening, I can shut power off here. But if I need to shut water off to the house, this handle right here is just a quarter turn valve. I can turn that up, and now I have shut water off to the house, and it'll prevent any more water from flowing if I'm having an issue inside. What you're going to see in your house or your apartment is going to be very similar. Either a quarter turn valve similar to this, or it might be like a normal kind of gate style round valve that you're going to have to turn until it stops, and then that should shut water off. So these are just some things that you can check out and look at when you first move in, just to make sure you know where to isolate everything. So I'm going to turn this back on. The other big item is your gas. So if you live in the city, you will be tied into either PG&E, Southern Cal Edison, some bigger cities like San Francisco or San Diego. They have their own power companies to where they are providing natural gas to that building. So since we live in the country, we actually live on propane, but it's going to be similar. You're going to see gas meters by your main breaker where the power's coming into your unit, and you're going to be able to shut the gas off there if for whatever reason there's an issue. If you have like a gas oven or cooktop, maybe a gas heater, like a wall unit or something inside your home or apartment, maybe even like a propane or a gas fireplace, underneath that you will have a valve that will either have like a red handle, yellow handle, blue handle, that you can shut off. It's like a quarter turn valve that you can shut gas off to that particular appliance. I will walk over and show you what we would have to do if I have a bigger issue and I can't shut off, isolate it specifically in the house, where I would shut it off at my tank. Okay, so our propane tank is actually buried underground. So I would lift the cap here. I have a valve right here, and I would just screw that, back it up, babe. I would turn this right here, and it would shut the propane off to the house if I had any issues, until I can get someone out to fix it. Okay, so those are the big things that I feel are real important for you to know where to isolate. And those are all issues or items that can cause either be hazardous or cause issues to you, the building, you as the tenant, and also cause just more, just costly repairs if something continues and can't be isolated for your either landlord or the owner of the building. I got a couple things I'm going to show you, some basic repairs. So when you move out, if you are renting, or if you even own and you want to save some money and not have to pay someone to come out and do repairs in your home, I'm going to show you some basic drywall repairs and painting. Those are probably the most common. If you are renting, generally the items like that, if you have damaged drywall, carpet or cabinets or certain thing like that, that's where they're going to charge you that deposit that you put down. And if the repairs go beyond the deposit you put down, they could charge you even more before you move out. So we're going to go and we'll go over some basic stuff like that.